There we are. Hello, everyone. How are you? I have not done this on Zoom before, so this is very exciting. And also this day of this weather, what we woke up to. It's beautiful to see that what we have today. The time stands stills, and snow is actually, in my world, where time stands stills, and we stop and enjoy the things that we should enjoy for Christmas, and those things that we get too fast or far ahead. It's kind of a good way of us staying home and being with our families and enjoying Christmas and things that we miss out on. And I also pray for the people that are out there today, the emergency personnel that are clearing our roads and are having to keep our roads clean and keeping us safe. And I really send a prayer out to those individuals that are out there in the cold. But I'm here to say tonight, let me ask you a simple question. How do we know what straight is unless we know what straightness is? Hi, my name is Maria Sherwood, and tonight I want to explore the question with you. When institutions remove God, they do not become neutral, they just become distorted. This is not what we call secular religion, which still imitates sacred order. This is secular imprisonment, a system that has lost its moral compass. And for example, I would say from Mere Christianity, the book Mere Christianity is where my seed is from. And also, I'm going to talk about Narnia. And today, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which is perfect. We have the Lion and the Witch Wardrobe Day for my seed. And I'm going to compare what in Narnia, my speech is the moral underlining of that story that I was given to me when I was 8 years old and around that age. And it was the first book that I read on my own with my grandmother, who was a teacher, and she made sure I had that book. And that seed is also being incorporated as Narnia. And I ask you, if you've seen that movie, Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, the Wardrobe, or if you read it, please let me entertain you what it means, what C.S. Lewis, as a theologian and philosopher, is trying to say in those movies and in his writings. And he's trying to say, compare an atheist and a Christian. How do we know what is straight or crooked? And that is the title of my speech. By looking at the world of creation itself, it's all good and God. Take God out and you see clearly. It becomes crooked. Think of the roles we play in life or the roles of football and basketball. Without the rules, the game becomes chaos. And rules are essential for order, and so it is in life. The game of football, and we just had the Army-Navy game, and I am Navy, and the Navy won. It was 17-16 yesterday. And my core claim, like what I'm trying to say, is when you remove God, institutions and systems, they bend. They do not disappear, but they lose alignment. Consider Narnia. And like today that we all have, today is a day of Narnia, and I'm going to take you in. Narnia, the winter day that we're having, we're all here, and it's a winter completely white and frozen under the White Witch. The land still exists, but life is unnatural. Joy is absent, and fear replaces love. Things function, but they do not flourish. I echo Plato, Augustine, and C.S. Lewis when I say the Christian worldview. Creation has order, meaning, and tension. Good and evil are real, not negotiated. Truth is measured against God and not trends. Suffering has context. Redemption is possible. The atheist materialist worldview, and that's what we have. Materialist is a religion when we don't have God anymore, and that's what they call it in theology is materialism. And that's the worldview. Creation is accidental, morality is relative or negotiated, power replaces truth, and meaning is self-generated or it collapses. When you compare the two, you don't need a sermon. You just look at the fruit. And that is what Jesus said. You will know them by their fruits. Look at the product of the tree. Some trees stand tall, like an evergreen, but they bear no fruit. They speak loudly, but produce nothing of God. And I'm saying this because we have a lot of people saying things today, and we don't know who to listen to because there are a lot of people, everybody's saying everything, but we need to look at the fruit and what Jesus says in this confusing world. I recently visited, I have a personal story, Sight and Sound Theater. I don't know if you heard of it. It's in Lancaster. And I went to see Noah's Ark with my family. We hadn't been to Lancaster County, Pennsylvania in years, where the Amish traveled by horse and buggy, preserving the faith and traditions of early settlers. Seeing them reminded me of my ancestors and the pilgrims who came from Great Britain to America seeking freedom to worship God. They held their faith while adapting to their time, straight as an arrow, on target. Watching Noah's story again, I was struck by the wickedness of this generation, the scrutiny he endured, and the obedience he took to follow God's plan when no one else understood. And as I watched in theater, seeing Noah's Ark with my family, it seemed that we were walking through similar times today. And the fruit of life, what I'm saying is, in theology, they say in the book, a crooked line only looks straight when the ruler is removed. And that's by C.S. Lewis in Mere Christianity. The creator is the ruler. Take God out and everything bends. Institutions bends, nations bend, truth bends. This isn't poetry. It's architecture. But the ruler back, that is God, creator, and you look at the fruit. And then you look at the analogy of this beautiful story that C.S. Lewis wrote, Narnia, and the cultural analogy that he wrote to children to try to understand. I'm speaking to grown-ups today what it means, what C.S. Lewis is trying to say in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And what he was trying to say is winter without Christmas with the Witch Queen in that story. Life frozen but not dead. Order exists, but it's unnatural. Fear replaces love. Law replaces mercy. The White Witch doesn't destroy Narnia. She perverts it. It likewise, godless institutions do not destroy society. They freeze it. My deeper point that I'm making, I'm not attacking atheists or people as people. I'm diagnosing the consequences of a worldview. Even atheists borrow moral language, expect justice, long for meaning, recognize beauty, which proves my point. The world runs on God's fingerprints. Right here. Even his name is erased. It's in my fingerprint. Right here. Because everybody has a fingerprint that makes them unique, and nobody has that same fingerprint. And same thing with the snowflakes that we see all outside for snow. My conclusion, a world without God doesn't become free. It becomes frozen. Order without law, law without mercy, winter without Christmas. So I say keep Christmas in Christmas. And when the lion returns, does the ice break? The lion is, who do you think is the lion in Narnia? That's the secret for children. And the life awaken and the world becomes good again because of the lion. And who is the lion? And that's my question when you watch Narnia. And I hope you watch this movie for Christmas, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Because what we're seeing here is a secular prison, not bars on windows, but bars on our soul. Merry Christmas, everyone. Glad tidings to all, and Emmanuel. And when I say Emmanuel, that's God's name, for God is with you. Thank you.